here we have the left tibia of an adult. This is the proximal end. So this articulates with the femur superiorly to form the knee. And then down at the distal end. Here this would articulate with the talus inferiorly here to form the ankle joint. So up at the proximal end, let's zoom in a little bit. So the proximal surface of the tibia has these two, you can see it better posteriorly, these two flat areas on the lateral and medial sides of that nice smooth subchondral bone. So these are joint surfaces where the condyles of the femur are going to sit on top here. So this is referred to as the tibial plateau because it forms a flat part on the top. And because we've got, I'll turn it back round anteriorly. This has condyles as well as the femur. So this is the medial side, so this is the medial condyle, and on the lateral side, the lateral condyle. And then these pokey up little ridges of bone in the centre of the plateau are called the intercondylar tubercles. So there we see them posteriorly and there anteriorly. So right in the centre between those joint surfaces. So here on the anterior side of the tubercle, we've got this great big projection of bone. This is the tibial tuberosity. And this is always more towards the lateral side of the bone, ever so slightly. I find if you look, can't position it. If you look down the shaft, which we can't do because of the position of the camera, but it's always on the lateral side of the bone. So if you have a tibia, pick it up and sort of look down the barrel and you'll see that there's a big lump on the lateral side. Other features up here and also on the lateral side, if we just turn around to the posterior side, it's almost gone in this individual because there's a little bit of post-mortem damage in the area, but there's a flat little area of subchondral bone there that makes up a joint surface, and that's the superior articular facet for the head of the fibula. And then sticking with the posterior side of the proximal tibia, there are various muscle attachments sort of in this area, but this one here that you can see sort of running from lateral distally down to medial, this is called the soleal line. It's quite rough down there, but you can see it up here too. So I'll turn it back anteriorly. So there's the shaft of the tibia in cross section is really kind of triangular, and this point right on the anterior side, this is the anterior crest of the tibia, so this pokes forward. And I always think that on the lateral side, if you feel it, there's a slight concavity on the lateral side, I suppose because the fibula is sitting here, so it's almost sort of making a little gap for the fibula. So if you only have the shaft of the tibia and you don't have the tuberosity at the top or anything down at the distal end, if you can just feel for that little concavity on the lateral side of the shaft, that can help you side the bone. And sometimes you might have the soleal line as well, and so that can help you orient too. So right, back to the anterior side, and then here we are at the distal end. So obviously big features here, medial malleolus, so this great big projection of bone on the medial side. And then on the lateral side, we have sort of this slice out of the bone almost, so another little concave area. So this is the fibular notch, because this is where the distal part of the fibula sits. It's not a nice smooth diarthrodial joint, because of course the tibia and the fibula are connected, articulated in their distal extremities by a syndesmosis. So this is a fixed fibrous joint which holds the bones together really solidly and doesn't allow any movement. So that's why, even though it's a joint attachment, it's rough cortical bone rather than the nice smooth subchondral bone that we see for the other articulations. And of course that's on the lateral side, because the fibula is always lateral to the tibia. So that's it from the lateral view. And then turn it posteriorly. That's the posterior distal end. So again, we can see the medial malleolus there.